Hello folks, this is Aytan Ajha from inspiredtorise.com and today we are going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy M31s smartphone. Today I'm going to showcase an unboxing for the same and I'm going to talk about all of its pros and cons. So do hit the subscribe button and do hit the notification bell so that you can watch all of our videos before anybody else. So guys, let's first start with the unboxing. Inside the box you get the smartphone, you get the super fast charging adapter for this one along with the USB-C cable, you get the SIM tray ejector tool and the documentation. Sadly, there is no TPU cover on the inside, no screen protector on the inside or no earphones on the inside, and that's something which will irk a lot of people and it's definitely going to bother people like me. And now let's talk about the build and design. It weighs around 203 grams. It's not a handy phone at all for almost everyone who's going to use it, and single-handed usage is slightly difficult on the smartphone. It is 9.3 mm thin, and on the right hand side you get the power button and the volume rocker. The power button houses the fingerprint sensor, which is pretty fast and works good almost every time. At the bottom you get the 3.5 mm jack along with the USB-C port and the speaker grill for this one. On the left hand side there's the SIM tray slot for this one, which houses a dedicated micro SD card slot, so that's something good. On the top you get the noise cancellation microphone for this smartphone. It has a 6.5-inch full HD plus display, which personally according to me is the best AMOLED Super AMOLED display in this particular price point, and the colors are really good. There's a small punch hole notch at the top which houses the 32 megapixel f2.2 aperture camera, and overall I felt that the display and the ergonomics of the display along with the thin bezels make it a really appealing smartphone from the front. And if I talk about few other things, it houses a 6000 mAh battery which does support really fast charging up to 25 watts, which takes quite a lot of time because 6000 mAh is still huge battery size. And if you're somebody who's going to use the smartphone really heavily, you are still going to get around 9 hours of screen on time, and if you're going to play a lot of games, then also the drain is respectable, not really that high. Max volume from the single mono speaker at the bottom is acceptable, not really that great. If it was a stereo speaker, definitely it could have been better. On the inside it comes with the Exynos 9611 chipset, which Samsung has almost milled out completely. They have used it on almost every smartphone in the past few years, and I think we definitely need a different Exynos chipset in this particular price point for now. But still, it's a 10 nanometer octa-core processor and gives you good enough performance for a lot of things, but all of that raw power translates to good gaming performance, yet the UI performance is not that great. Still, Samsung needs to work on its UI optimization a lot. They have also bundled some bloatware along with recommended apps in their launcher, which is something that you would need to manually disable. Apart from that, if you're somebody who's going to buy the smartphone, there are two variants. There's a 6128 variant and there's the 8128 variant. You can choose which one you want to buy. It's available in black and blue colors. This smartphone is a dual SIM smartphone which supports VoLTE as well as VO Wi-Fi, so that's good. It supports dual band Wi-Fi as well, and I felt that the network speeds etc were particularly good because Samsung has a good history in all of these things, and you get good signal strength across all of its range. If I talk about the audio experience in further detail, it has Dolby Atmos audio support from the 3.5 mm jack, so if you're going to use some good earphones, you will get pretty good audio. If you are a camera fanatic, you will like this phone a lot. It comes with a 64 MP Sony IMX682 sensor. It's a f1.8 aperture sensor, clicks really good photographs. The overall picture quality is definitely good, but if I talk about the image processing, Samsung has a particular history of a little bit over sharpening and a little bit over saturation, and it's seen across all of its images. But still, if you like that particular punchy look, you will definitely like almost all of the photographs coming out of this smartphone. It has a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor as well, which takes in really wide photographs, so that's something that I liked a lot. And there's a 32 megapixel selfie camera, as we talked about earlier, which takes decent selfies, but if you are in really low light situations, then the quality does suffer a little bit. The front as well as the back camera both record 4K video, but the front camera 4K video quality wasn't really that much great as compared to the back camera sensor. So you would be better off using the full HD mode or the 2K mode on the front camera. If you're going to game a lot, you will find that this smartphone is capable of running PUBG up to smooth and extreme gameplay settings. You can even run PUBG on HDR on this smartphone. But the bad thing here is that if you're going to game for a really long duration of time, you will find that this smartphone does heat up quite a lot. So if you are a really avid gamer, you are going to game for really extended periods of time, you will find that this smartphone does heat up. So that's something which has to be kept in mind. But the overall gameplay experience was good. You can play games like Asphalt 9 etc. also on this with real ease. Right now it's an India exclusive smartphone, so it does not retail in a lot of countries. Maybe it would start showing up in Africa, Europe and other places soon. And if you are somebody from those places, then also this review would come in handy in case you want to make a future purchase decision. The smartphone retails for a price of around 20,500 rupees for the 6 128GB version and around 22,500 rupees for the 8 128GB version. The unit we tested was the 8GB RAM version, yet there were some issues. The One UI 2.0 does not feel as smooth as it should feel for a smartphone for this price bracket. And then there are also some other issues. For example, there are bundled ads and there is some bloatware. There are apps present on the smartphone which can't be uninstalled. You can only disable them. So that feels somewhat like an issue. And if you are a hardcore power user like me, you can definitely go and disable all of those things. But a normal user would be pissed off because of all of these things. So guys, who should buy the Samsung Galaxy M31s? If you want this great display, the good battery life, if you want the kind of raw power that the smartphone does pack, good cameras, then you can definitely go for this smartphone. But if you're somebody who's a fan of better UI experience, if you are somebody who wants a really smooth smartphone, then I think you should increase your budget a little bit, go for the latest OnePlus smartphone, or you can spend 6,000 rupees less easily and go for the Samsung Galaxy M21, which does offer almost everything similar to this smartphone. Only few things are lesser, for example the camera, and few other small minor things. Even the processor on that smartphone is similar to this one. So I think at the end of the day, it all boils down to what kind of smartphone you really want to use. So guys, this was it for this video. In case you like this one, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and do subscribe to Inspire to Rise for more awesome tech videos like this one. And guys, no matter what you do, stay inspired to rise.